Hi guys, welcome to my channel, and today we are going to be taking you all the way to South Africa, and we are going to be looking at none other than the famous case of Dr. Nandi and Dr Bester. So for those of you who don't know, we are going to be providing you a background story and our views on what these two individuals did, and also looking into the possible reasons as to why Dr Bester faked his own death to escape prison.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Roha, and today I am joined by Munya, Angela, and Humphrey. Welcome to the channel, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
In today's video, the discussion will be about
Dr. Nandipha, yo. Dr. Nandipha, why?
My friend,
Why? Jolo strikes again.
That's right, you guys. We are back with Njolo content. Njolo. Guys, Njolo is eventually going to finish all of us.
Jolo will finish us, which will be the end of us.
What is Njolo?
Good question. Njolo is really just
Jolo is dating, breakup, divorce, the cheating, the unfaithfulness.
relationships, love.
Jolo is everything based on relationships.
Exactly.
Alright.
So that's why we say we are back with Njolo content, because
Njolo
today's content is indeed really about Njolo here.
Interesting.
Alright, so as you guys heard, the topic will basically be about the recent saga that happened. I don't know if I should even call it a saga or I should call it a... What do you think I should really call the situation? Because I'm confused.
I think this is our African version of Romeo and Juliet.
Yes?
Is it?
I don't know. I still feel like Romeo and Juliet's story was a bit bearable.
Why? It was two families who hated each other. So I think what Romeo and Juliet are two lovebirds who find themselves in a situation whereby they can't openly be together, and sadly, sad ending for them. Well, with Dr. Nandipha, yo.
Nothing like Romeo and Juliet.
Nothing like Romeo and Juliet,
No.
but it just shows the extent that if someone is in love, what they're willing to do. So we will be dissecting and
Yes.
go into...
And we'll also look at whether it is really someone in love, and if that's what love is supposed to make you do,
Or madness.
or madness is supposed to make you do.
I think
that.
it's madness.
It's madness. It has to be.
It has to
be.
It has to be. Because a conscious being, right? A conscious being and someone who's really done the inner work, I think would regard that as madness. But yeah, all right. For those of you who don't know, let's just give you a bit of a background on the story, right? So Dr. Nandi was actually studying in South Africa, right? Pursuing her medical career. And that was some years ago, I think 2006, right? And she had met Mr.
Bester.
Bester, let's call him Bester as it's called.
Yeah.
So she had met Bester, right? Because he was running some modeling agency, and she was one of the girls that were, promo girls, exactly. So after some time, they had lost contact, and then she went on to graduate and get married, right? So I believe she got married the same year she graduated. And then eventually Bester was arrested, right? And then shortly after that,
He was arrested for what?
yes, I haven't actually gotten into why he was arrested, right? But for me, I think when I was like reading the story, I was like, you were arrested? Oh yes. Sorry, I almost missed the important part.
Yeah.
It was actually rape allegations. I'm gonna call it allegations because I have no proof of it,
Yeah.
right? So he was actually convicted because of rape allegations, and somehow she gained contact with him again and started talking to him, so much that even though she was married, she did make a declaration in an affidavit that she's engaged to Bester.
A married woman.
A married woman.
A married woman.
A married woman.
What
Right?
pushes a woman who is married to do such a thing?
So
No, like
let's hold the question just for a while, right?
Okay.
So after their engagement, they sort of started a company together, right? And then at some point, someone was killed, a body was burned to sort of say that that is Bester that died, but in fact it was found out that it was someone else. And that's how Bester escaped prison, because they thought he had burned, or he was burned, but it was actually someone else. And then at some point last year, 2022, he was spotted in a mall shopping with Dr. Nandi's daughter, right? Someone took a picture of it. And then this year again, they were spotted shopping again. And then eventually, her father declared to, I think, the ENCA that they are indeed fugitives and they had run away. And then they were caught in Tanzania. So that is how they got arrested. And that's how they got to where they are right now. So let's look back to the early stages of the whole thing. And then that's where we started your question. Let's go.
Dr. Nandipha. I know people who are in love do a lot of crazy things. My question is, what pushes someone to throw out reasoning out the window, whereby they jeopardize their own life? And we all know Dr. Nandipha had a daughter, or she had a child.
Mm-hmm.
And like, when does reasoning stop? At what point does reasoning stop and craziness, madness takes over in pursuit of love, in pursuit of fulfilling these love obligations?
You know what I think also answers that, right?
Mm.
It's the fact that people forget that disloyalty towards your partner and cheating towards your partner is not something that happens overnight. It's almost like a premeditated murder.
Yeah.
You actually plan it. It's a step-by-step process.
True.
They didn't even get to where they are today, like, by accident. I think this whole thing started with the fact that she was married and decided to still find that person to remain in contact with him, right? While she was married.
What happened to the marriage vows?
Yes.
It's not even about marriage vows. I mean,
Because what-
why would you leave your marriage to go look for a fugitive who's been convicted for rape? Excuse me. You're
Yes.
not doing that. What? No. I mean,
Maybe-
if there's
maybe
something
because
you're
of-
missing in your marriage,
Maybe
divorce that
because of the
person.
money.
Money? And you're in
Yeah.
prison.
The prisoner had Bester had money in prison?
Of course.
Yeah, Bester had money.
Someone
He
can
must have
have
had
money.
money because
Yeah.
that's how they probably set up their companies.
Okay.
But the thing is, are we looking at a shopkeeper who wants Bester's money, or are we looking at a doctor who wants more money? Would that then also be like a sort of greed? Because you are a doctor, you are an influencer, you must be making enough already.
In this case,
And you have a husband.
In this case, you are talking in your own point of view.
Mm.
This person that you are seeing here is looking at the money.
Money.
Probably yes.
It's
Mhm.
looking at the money. But you will sit here and say it's not about money.
No. What I'm
Love.
saying is,
Could be about love.
It could
No.
be about. It could be about money as well. It
It's
could be.
money. You can't
It's all
tell
about
me.
money.
It's all about money.
Because I think people are becoming more greedy as well, you know?
Materialistic.
Yes. You think that someone who's a doctor and has a husband, it's not like a husband is jobless, in it.
But I think what we're meeting to discuss is what was the current, because I think we're going forward with this discussion assuming it was a perfect marriage.
Yes,
I'm not
exactly.
excusing
True.
what she did, but I think everyone's looking from a point of she had a husband, she had it going on.
Yeah.
Good. Like, what if they had an open relationship? Who knows?
Look for someone in prison.
What?
And who's convicted of rape for that matter?
Okay, I think a choice. If it was an open relationship,
Mhm.
your first choice.
And her first choice was a convict. It's very interesting.
Do they have a history together?
That is also an interesting question because initially they had met while she was studying. And then obviously they were in contact and then lost contact, and then she went and found him to reconnect,
True.
right?
This is a very interesting saga.
Okay, guys, without deviating from the topic, I think my next question is rather, how far would we go for someone that we love or are married to or are in a relationship with regard to this incident?
Or it just shows you that when one is truly committed and they're in love with someone, there's nothing that they wouldn't do. Like in this case, Dr. Nandipha went all out to, you know, I'm sure to some extent she was involved because there's a dead body involved there in Bester's escape, and she's a doctor, so she somehow along her career she had to make friends with morticians.
Yes, and she was in and out of the mortuary because I read that somewhere she also claimed, I think, 3 bodies at I think at a rate of 1.5 million each or something like that.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's a rich woman.
But then I'm also taking your point.
Corpses.
I'm also taking your point now and thinking you're saying that sometimes when a person is in love, there's nothing that they won't do for the other person. And
That's true.
that is making me reflect on his point that if it is indeed about money, then it's also a factor of people would do anything for money, not even about love.
True.
Some people, let me not say people, some people would do anything for money. So if she was that kind of person who's just like that ambitious, I'm gonna call it ambition because I don't have that kind of ambition. She would be like, you know what, I want the money and I'm going all out for it.
I don't know what Bester told Dr. Nandipha, but I'm curious, man. I want to know, like,
Saba, welcome
how much
here.
game does this guy have?
Yes.
He's behind bars. Come on.
Like he's
Like-
still able to convince you.
Like how? She's a married woman. He's behind bars in prison for rape, and still manages to get this woman to do all these things. Like, how do you sell yourself? Like, yo,
How do you convince?
teach me.
But also, can we talk about the fact that it's only women who go out, all the way out for these things? If it's love, it's always the women who do the most outrageous things for love. Men don't do this.
No,
I mean,
men do.
No,
Men,
no,
by gender,
no, wait.
By gender.
Extreme.
No, extreme.
Extreme.
Guys, I tell you
It's
what,
women who go to the extremes.
you guys should take credit for it because what we are actually saying indirectly is that men are smart generally. When it comes to like, you guys are very stupid in like a lot of other areas, but when it comes to like a lot of critical things in life, you are like more, how can I say?
Reason.
You are more
Reasonable,
reasonable,
yeah.
you know, and you are more objective as well. Women are not objective. We tend to be like more subjective. It's about our emotions, our
yeah.
feelings.
Women
and
are
stuff.
emotional creatures.
But men are very objective beings, you know. How many
Much
women
objective.
in Southern Africa have loans because of men? A lot of them.
Not even
A lot
everywhere
of
in the
them.
world.
Like you remind me.
Yes,
What's
Yes, a lot of
What is that
women in the
Netflix?
world.
Always the women
You
who
remind
do
me of
these
that
things.
Netflix on that movie on Netflix. My enemies are
After me, please send $300. I don't have access to my credit card.
Enemies, please.
My
they're gonna
enemies are
finish
after me.
Mhm.
Like, also, are we talking about women falling victims? But you know, there's
No,
there's
There's that.
Mm.
They can be. It can't be that because honestly, if a guy really knows that you love them, then guess what? They will, and they can just pull strings and you can do things for them. Then yeah, because if I'm smitten and you're there telling me, oh, do this for me because I want to impress you or rather do whatever, maintain that particular relationship, I'm gonna do it because I love you. So
Or
it,
so you
it
think.
could be, yeah, it could be
Yeah.
that women fall victims to such
Easily, very easily.
such men.
Okay, and then looking at the timeline of how things happen, I think there was also like a weird thing, which is like, okay, someone saw them in a mall, a picture was taken, it had to take a second footage for this news to come out. That is a bit weird for me. I don't know why it had to take a second footage, or whether they were keeping the case low key so that they could find them,
No, it's for them to be sure.
for them to be sure. Okay.
Yeah, it's for them
I
to
think
be sure.
also should we talk about the high crime rate in South Africa and how I think they wouldn't prioritize the case with such low evidence.
They thought.
They
at
thought.
the time.
At the time they were not sure, I think. Yeah.
Exactly. I think they needed more concrete evidence to like take action to like okay.
All right.
Because I think
But also-
when you hear about it and like, wait, this guy's dead, like we buried him.
Yeah.
You know, like people are sure, so I think it's out of the radar. Is this possible? It's like, nah, it's not possible.
Okay.
So they
Yeah.
wouldn't look into it.
All right. So my next question is very simple. You only get to choose two answers. I mean, choose one answer out of the two options. Okay. I'll start with Humphrey. Based on the case at hand, do you think one, it's love, or two, madness?
No, I don't think it's love.
Okay, madness. Angela,
Straight up madness.
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 huh. Munya.
Jolo strikes again. Madness.
Madness.
That
Madness.
is
Guys,
not love.
it is madness. It is madness. Okay. And then for my next question, it's basically Munya,
Yes. So,
do you think, okay, you don't have to tell the audience, but do you think, because you know, as human beings, we are constantly evolving, we're constantly growing, we're constantly developing ourselves emotionally, physically, and mentally, right? So obviously, who you are right now is not who you were 5 years ago, 10 years ago.
yesterday.
Yes, or even yesterday.
This
to
afternoon.
be honest, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So my question to you is, do you think that you have ever done something for your loved one? I'm talking about relationship, not Jolo. That your present self today knows that this was not love, it was madness.
Hey, chat. Madness. I think I've been in relationships whereby I put myself in situations I would not normally put myself in.
Yeah, your today self, right? Your conscious self.
Now that I'm thinking about it, like when you reflect on it, you're like, what was I thinking? You know, but then like I think the more you fall in love, I think
The most stupid you become?
No.
it's when you're in that state of true love, right? You are trying to. I think when you truly love someone, you're there to serve them
Mm-hmm.
always,
Yeah.
and
We're all servants in a
and
relationship.
at any cost, right?
Service industry.
Yeah. So I think when you're in love, you are out to serve at any cost, even at your own detriment. You're willing to lose a leg.
Yeah.
Just,
Angela, how about you? Do you feel like you've because I think also when we say like, have you done something that your past self or your present self would today see that
frown upon
as- yeah.
that decision.
Of course, yes. I've done things in the name of love that my current self would not. I look back, you know that meme. You just cringe because what was that? But I feel like it's just how maybe I learned how I knew how to love then. Now I know better, but while I was doing whatever I did it out of love. I did it with so much love, and I feel like that is how people should actually love other people. Love limitlessly. Don't put boundaries at, oh, I'm gonna look like a simp. There's nothing like that. Just love wholeheartedly and fully, and then over time we grow, things change and stuff. But cringe, still cringe.
so crazy? Okay.
Cringe.
Humphrey, how about you?
Yeah, of course. I think when man or woman grows, the kind of grow with mentality. I have done something in the past, that I can be able to change now. And I have changed to become a better person. So I think that's all I can say.
Okay. Right. I definitely agree with you guys.
You?
No, that's why I'm agreeing with you guys. I feel like personally I've done stuff for someone in the past where I feel like, yes, I thought I'm doing it out of love, but obviously my present self knows better, and I think it was madness. Okay. Now also to continue on that question, right? What do you guys think So a lot of times when you're in a relationship, or let me say sometimes when you're in a relationship, you might have a situation where you feel like, oh, I am doing this out of love, I'm accepting this out of love, but do you, because you know, there is this thing where when you're so in love, right, you can also become stupid. You might make an excuse and say, no, it's because I'm in love, but reality check, you can become stupid. That's just the word to use.
So should you say the more you love, you are like the
No. I'm saying
the less
capability. Love has the ability to make you stupid.
I agree with that.
Right? So my question is, do you guys think that we, especially as the black community that needs to heal, like we always say, we need to heal as people, right? Should we not be striving for relationships that bring out the opposite in us? Like, you know, when you're, like, you know how you have different friends and different friends bring out a different side of you, a different version of you.
Yeah.
There are some friends, when you're with them, you feel like your brain cells are dying. But you also have friends, as soon as you're with them, you feel like energy levels go up, intellect goes up, ideas spark.
Oxytocin release.
You know, exactly.
Out of it.
So should we not be striving for that in relationships as well?
I think we deserve that. I think
We
firstly
deserve it.
is to acknowledge that I
Deserve that.
this. I deserve it.
Yes,
I deserve to be
absolutely.
happy. I deserve to be in a relationship whereby I feel good, I feel valued, I feel respected, I feel heard,
And I feel
I
like
feel
I'm
loved.
growing. I feel like I'm
loved.
growing.
Yeah.
And I am becoming smarter in the process of it all. Right?
True.
Yes. So, okay. Let's go to the next question, which I think is also a very sensitive question and topic and side to look at. But because of how society is set up, we cannot ignore the difficult conversations, right? So my question to you guys is, and I'm going to start with you, Mia. Would you, such as in the case that we're looking at of Dr. Nandi and Bester, would you protect a rapist? And when I say rapist, I am talking about someone that is really close to you. I'm talking about an uncle of yours, a father, you know, someone really close to you. Would you protect them?
So that is a very difficult question, you know. But I think so. This is what I know about the human psychology: is that we are quick to give ourselves second chances. So we might do something wrong, and sadly, society is the last to let go of what you did wrong. On a personal level, you might have forgiven yourself and moved on.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when we're talking about Bester, we identify him with what he got arrested for, which is rape, right? Maybe, I don't know on his personal level, maybe he had moved on and become a better person, I don't know. So I feel like where he was in his mind, or when Dr. Nambi was, like, okay, my person has changed, he's evolved, become a better person. So maybe that's why they did it. It's because they have given themselves a second chance, which society wouldn't. And so I think, would I protect a rapist? Nah, fam.
Definitely. I mean, because even with the way that
fam, I'm snitching on you. What?
Because even with the way that you're dissecting it, right? We have society, and then we have Nandi and Bester, right? They could have forgiven whatever has happened, and we have a whole society at our hand, right?
True.
Because society is still hurt by this. What happened to the society is not going to change. What happened to, it's like, you know, if you're looking at child rape, for example, what happened to that child is not going to be erased because you forgave yourself.
True.
Right? This child has to continue to live with that trauma and has to continue with therapy and lifetime.
It might never get over.
It might even never ever get away. So I feel like if you need to pay for a crime that you did, Do the time.
Yeah, do the time.
Do the time.
Yeah.
You're in prison, you're eating, you're sleeping, you're not dead, they didn't kill you. Do your time. Right? So let me go to Humphrey.
Do I think?
Would you protect a rapist?
Yeah. First of all, in my culture, it's an abomination. In my culture, so I don't think I will.
Igbo culture,
Yeah,
guys.
in Igbo culture, it's an abomination. I don't think I can spare a person.
Yeah.
No. No, Steve.
No chance.
Honestly.
We are
Right.
not protecting
Angela?
rapists.
Oh yeah. Also, same thing. If you make a mistake, I mean, the only way to show that you're sorry for it is by doing the time. No matter you're my brother, whoever you are.
Yeah.
If you're really sorry, do the time and repent. Act accordingly. After that, show people that you're remorseful and you've actually reformed. That's
And
it.
stay away from my daughters when you come out of prison.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. I definitely agree with the gentlemen and also with Angela. I think the perfect apology for such an act is to do your time. That is the best way to apologize. But running away, that is not you showing that you are sorry. That is actually you showing that, you know what, I don't deserve to do the time. I deserve to be out there being free, which you don't. So do your time. That's a perfect apology.
And
Right.
unfortunately, it's people who have the money, because the normal, or rather, a poor person, if you do a mistake, very fast. But
Yeah.
if you have the money, then you think you can bypass the law. No,
Mm.
no one is above the law. Do your time.
But
No
when
matter how wealthy you are, do the time.
you know, you brought a very, very interesting topic right there, because when you talk about law, and is law applied equally to people?
No.
No,
Unfortunately,
unfortunately,
no.
no.
Unfortunately,
no.
no. Yeah.
Why? What can we do about it?
What
So-
can we, the four of us sitting here? Are you kidding us?
No. Okay. What can be done to make sure that everyone abides under the law? That law, irrespective of what your position is in society.
Do you know what I think it is, right? I'm going to speak from my personal perspective. Because your question is, what can we, or what can be done to ensure that everybody abides by the law?
So if they commit a crime, they pay the price. That's because I feel like for some people, if they got money, they hire the best lawyers and they get away with it.
Alright, so then the question is not what can be done by society, because we have very little power of what they are doing to ensure that people do their time. The problem is with the system. It's not even with communities and people. Because if you look at it carefully, there's so many crimes that get reported, right? There's so many crimes that get reported, but is the law actually doing something about it? No, the system is not doing anything about it. The community, the people, the netizens, they are not the problem.
True.
It's the system.
No, I hear you. I think.
Yes, and that is.
I don't think there's anything we can do on
The four of us.
We can't solve all the injustices going on in the world.
Even netizens, they try, they go make noise on social media, but nothing. They can't. They also can't change the system.
Yeah, it's beyond.
But
It's beyond what we can do.
What I want to add is there are some people that are not going free from raping. Like in terms of celebrities, some celebrities are not going free. Like someone like Eric Lina is in jail, so he's not free. So it's not about common man or richer people or poorer people. There are some rich people that goes in this
But
case.
I think we can agree that the more money you have and the more influence or power you hold in society, the less. If you were to commit the same crime with someone who doesn't have a lot of money, the other guy might. He'll definitely fail to get a good lawyer, bad representation, and this court case might be over in like 2 days or something, and he's already convicted.
Yeah.
Whereby if you have a lawyer, so like I think if we were to reimagine the world in an ideal situation, I think it would be nice that everyone gets fair representation, so that they don't feel like, oh, because I don't have money, my case was treated differently.
Why is it that celebrities are not cannot just come out of this?
cannot come out.
Because
of
is it because that the world are looking onto them?
No,
Yeah.
the thing is,
Oh, yeah, this-
I think it's
we
because
also have to understand that, huh?
Because if a celebrity doesn't get into this case now, to come out of this is a very
Yeah.
it's a
it's
very
not
But the
easy
thing
because of the
is-
influence
yeah.
and how many people are watching
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
I think what also like makes the difference is the fact that technology has improved so much
yeah
and
yeah
people have access
yeah.
to what is happening, right?
Mm.
And because of that, people are seeing, they're hearing.
True.
Unlike before.
So yes, it makes it very difficult for them to now hide things, you know. I mean, look at what happened to, you're talking about R. Kelly, right? So much evidence was brought forward. We, the public, got to see that. So if he went scot-free, we'd all be like,
Mm.
Well,
Yeah, I think technology.
as-
I think
yeah.
technology has improved in that aspect.
Yeah, I think as it stands right now, Dr. Nandipha and Bester's case, the next court date is on April 17th. So, in such a case, that's when like the whole escape and everything.
Mhm.
If you're a detective, right? Who would you guess are involved, a party to this crime? Family?
I would probably guess family.
Family. You
Yeah.
think the family knew?
I think so. I think her dad knew.
Yeah. The dad knew.
The dad knew.
Yeah, the dad knew.
Because the dad was also the person who fished her out.
You think the dad was involved?
No,
You don't think so?
No.
What if the dad didn't know? Because I'm guessing as a father, I wouldn't approve my daughter being involved. First
You
thing.
think?
You wouldn't approve, but
But then,
Put the
daughter
money on
comes
the
to
table.
you. The daughter comes to
Yes.
you already involved. What
Yes.
do you do? This is your daughter in in a very
That
bad
is-
fix. What do you do? As
that
a
is
father, you just
so
have
true.
to.
That is so true. Like I feel like when it comes to, I'm not a father yet, but I feel like daughter-father relationships.
It's very, yeah.
Yes, my father
Yeah.
will kill for me.
Like I think if the daughters decided, yo, this is what I want, everyone has to fall in line. Like because you love her that much. So eventually, like.
But the poor guys who had to die. Wow. The corpses.
That is
No,
insane.
but
Yeah, that
were-
is insane.
Were they already dead? Or they were just, I don't know. Were they?
For someone to escape, then it can't be just a dead body over there.
I think they went to the morgue, like I'm guessing a lot of crimes, probably a lot of unclaimed, because it happens in most mortuaries. The dead bodies whereby they go unclaimed for a very long
Yeah,
time.
because they did say that she claimed 3 bodies. So, but then why would she take the dead body from the mortuary all the way to the prison facility to burn it there?
And say it was
And
his guy
how?
who died. Hmm.
But again, connections. When I'm in Africa is a lot of connections. So I'm not gonna debate.
Money,
Yeah,
money,
money.
money.
Okay,
solves
guys.
a lot of problems
Before
and
we
creates a
close
lot of
off
problems.
today's topic, right? I'm wondering if you guys have any other questions or something that you want to add to the discussion.
I think I just feel sorry for the child in this equation.
What about the husband?
Yeah. The
Poor man.
child and the husband.
Poor
yeah.
man. He knew he was marrying a model and they had a child. Only
No, he was marrying a doctor, honey.
doctor. Imagine a model who's a doctor. He knew,
Really?
wow, I've really gotten, I
A
hit
wife.
the jackpot with this one. After God, fear women, guys. Fear
Yeah.
women. After God, fear women. Women are dangerous. Aye.
I do feel
Yeah.
for the child though. So
Yeah.
I mean, knowing that they do have, I'm trying to assume that they do have the financial muscles, right? Having a child go through such a traumatic experience.
They have to live with this because it's going to stay on the internet for a long time. So.
Yeah, that's the thing about the internet.
internet is just something that you can't delete it.
Yeah, you can't delete it. It never goes away. It does go down the timeline though.
Oh yeah,
But
it's
people
gonna
will
be.
search.
But some people still
People will bring it up. There's something
Such
which
and
just
such,
follow you. Like
such
your
and-
last name, it'll just follow you. Like as a child. Like,
Mm.
oh, your name is
All
whatever.
right.
People do.
Online shopping. Is there no online shopping in South Africa? Why? If you're
Why are you?
fugitive,
If you're a fugitive,
why would you go paramulating yourself in the mall and you know that you're a wanted criminal? Why?
Fresh air country.
Fresh air,
But
but get a
Wait,
big piece of
Maybe we just
land.
wanted to just
far away.
know about
I think we are forgetting that we are dealing people who have 007 mentality. Yeah.
maybe
Because they felt they got away with it.
maybe he thinks that the case is closed.
He thinks people have forgotten.
Yes. That's why it's out.
Really?
How many?
Yeah, because the case cannot be on and you are just going about.
Or maybe the person that had your back, people always have that detective or that sergeant who works in the police. He said, my guy, you're all clear now.
Yeah, everything is okay.
You can start perambulating.
Start living your best life. Start living your best life.
Go and enjoy your life, nothing is happening.
Okay.
Nah, it's interesting.
All right, guys, before we close off today's discussion, I think what I want to add is that I think this is one of the reasons why, personally, I always say it doesn't matter how many people want to be parents. Not everyone deserves to be a parent. And I think this is just one of those scenarios that prove, that when you want to be a parent, there are also certain habits and certain lifestyles and certain things that you need to
Address.
forego for the sake of your child. Right? Personally, I don't know, I've always been very sensitive about motherhood and fatherhood because I just think, especially for young people, fatherhood and motherhood are not topics that are openly discussed in African homes. A lot of people become mothers and fathers without truly understanding what it means to be a mother or a father.
Just because you're 30, your time is
Yes,
up,
your time is
you're on your biological clock. No.
I think being a father and being a mother is so much more than what is spoken about at a table in an African home. And for us that are now, in this generation, again, I like to say that we now have access to more resources and information, right? We get to learn more about parenting. You can literally learn everything about giving birth online. You can learn everything about parenting online, right? Even as a new mother or a new father. So I feel young people should really just take as much time as they do in looking at popular celebrities' news to look at things that really affect us as human beings, right? Especially parenting. I've seen people, for example, giving birth to disabled children, and they were not ready to accept these children.
They throw it away.
Yes, and it's really because they haven't had this discussion. Says who that just because you're going to give birth, you're going to give birth to a perfect human being, right?
Yeah.
People don't. I just think parenting is something that really needs to be discussed.
People need to do their self-work.
Self-work.
Yeah, self-work.
But then,
before becoming a parent.
besides baby having defects, there's a known, I don't know what it's known as, where after a woman gives birth, she can't stand the child. Like she just doesn't want to even to look at the child. Like
Yeah. Sometimes you don't even want to look at the father of the child. You just hate him for no reason.
Like most divorces, after the first child, most divorces happen.
Yeah, but we also have to remember there's trauma. There's the trauma involved.
This postpartum depression.
That is the reason why, before you get married, you try to, with your partner, to be
Have this discussion.
No,
to be a good relationship and friendship. Because that happens if you run away and just get a woman and get her pregnant.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
At some point in time,
Comes to the child.
when you give birth, the guy will run away, or both of them will hate each other because it is not planned. You are not best friend. You don't understand.
There's chaos.
So
no loyalty.
those things happen. So,
Yeah.
Friendship is important.
So yes, I personally always believe that what the mother experiences during the time she's pregnant is just what he's explaining. That trauma that she's going through, those tears she's crying while she's pregnant, all those things affect her pregnancy. It affects the child in her. Because remember, they're sharing DNA and genetics at the same time. So a lot of people don't even know that. They don't even know what you just explained.
yeah,
It's very, very, very important.
it's very, very important because if you want to marry, just marry someone that you love.
Yeah. Yeah, marry someone that is.
Marry someone who loves you and
Yeah.
wants what's best for you. Because you can love someone and they
Yeah.
don't care about you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's really important, and I wish more men, because like if I'm looking at even Africa, right, right now we are obviously diverting a bit from our topic, but it's
Yeah.
still very similar because there's a child involved in this case of Nandi and Bester, right?
Yeah.
And if we're looking at the southern African part of Africa, that is the part where you find most single mothers. It is literally an issue. You don't find that in West Africa, you don't find that in East Africa, you don't find that in North Africa. The highest number of single mothers is in Southern Africa. Fathers just run away. They make kids and they run away. While you're pregnant, they leave you. And so often, I feel it's really also because people don't understand the trauma it puts on the mother and the baby and the child.
True.
And this knowledge is not even knowledge you can find in schools, not even in universities.
Yeah, that's the worst part.
That's the worst part.
I
Instead
think
of teaching us
it's-
about
Instead, they're teaching us about how many legs a grasshopper has.
Spider.
Can we just overhaul some of this education system?
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in. That was our perspective on the Dr. Nandi and Bester saga. I feel bad for calling it a saga because it's worse than that. What shall we call it? Incident? It's not even an incident. It's more of a...
Just say something.
Alright, so that is it from Dr. Nandi and Bester's situation or
Yes.
situationship, whatever it was. That was our perspective. Thank you so much, guys, for sharing, for giving your valuable inputs and your opinions, and how can I put it? And also just educating the public in general on very important and sensitive views on this. So thanks, guys. It was such an honor to have you guys on the channel. I'm so grateful.
Thank you, Roho. Always a pleasure to be on your channel. It was great being part of this discussion with a lot of diverse inputs. You know, it's always
Fun.
it was definitely fun. You know, I had a good time.
I also had a good time.
I had a good time.
Great. Right, guys. As usual, don't forget to subscribe. And
Comment when you're commenting. Please tell us where are you watching from.
And what you think about the entire
Oh my god.
thing.
bye, guys.
Cheers. Bye bye.